Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Manino and Nareman Hamdan, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hey guys, I'm Nareman Hamdan, and this is Driven Unscripted Success podcast. We've got a great guest on today. We have Christina Suter. Christina is out of Los Angeles, California. She's a real estate investor, educator, and strategic advisor. How are you doing, Christina?
I'm good. How are you this morning, honey?
Doing well. How's Los Angeles?
It's actually quite lovely this morning. Had a little sprinkle this morning, and now the skies are starting to clear out. It's lovely, actually.
Oh, that's nice. I'm down in Naples, Florida. So
Oh, yeah.
it's been pretty rainy. We're getting an early start to the summer season where it rains, gets swampy, probably about 200% humidity, and then blue skies and sunshines and rain.
Yeah, I remember the humidity. So when I was a young kid, I was 13, and we went for a cruise out of Florida, and I got out of the plane because we were in LA. I got out of the plane in Florida to get to the cruise, and I was like this wave of humidity just came rolling over me. I'm like, oh my God, how do I breathe? It was just so intense. And so, yes, you sincerely have a lot of humidity there. I have noticed.
Yeah, you literally do your hair and makeup and you walk out and you're just soaking wet.
Yep, exactly.
You're like, oh, I don't even know why I just spent all that time.
Do you live and invest in Florida, by the way, just as a side note?
Yes. Invest in Florida and a few other markets. I'm also up in South and North Carolina, and we're starting to venture into Texas. So that's been a lot of fun. But let me ask you,
Go for it.
Why don't you give us a quick snapshot of your business right now, what you guys do and what your company does?
So I'm a professional investor. I live off of my investments. So I invest in Indianapolis and I invest in Tulsa, Oklahoma, single family, multifamily. I do joint ventures and private equity. I'm also a GP on some syndicated deal. I'm looking to do more of that. So that's what I do on the investment side. But I'm also have a master's in spiritual psychology, and I'm a great believer in people finding their freedom and their abundance. And what is their life's purpose? And real estate really being a tool towards them fulfilling their life's purpose. So I also have a consulting practice I've been doing since 2007. Yes, during the downturn is when I started my consulting practice. That is correct.
Makes sense.
Right? I needed it. Everybody I knew needed it. So we got together and huddled. I went, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's falling apart. What are we going to do?
Yeah, brilliant.
But I had graduated with my degree in 2000, so I had already been doing small business consulting and life coaching already previous to that. And I just rolled in the real estate investing because at that point I had started investing almost 15 years previous to that. I started in 1986. So I really had this sort of experience, but I also had this mindset piece, which is how do you find purpose in life, whether it's going up or going down? And how do you craft a portfolio so it serves your purpose versus the concept of just chasing wealth? And what does that mean to live a life that is intentionally directed and oriented towards values, purpose, freedom, abundance, financial leadership, and the joy and natural satisfaction of financial leadership? In 2007 and 8 and 9 was a great, huge lesson. Huge. Did I say huge? Let me say huge. It was a huge lesson.
It was.
In really understanding financial leadership. And so it was really fun in the early years of my consulting practice and almost working it out. What does this mean to us, to me, to my clients? And so it's just, I enjoy it. It's a passion of mine. And I see several clients a week. And I really hope that to make like the legacy I would want to leave isn't just my properties to my daughter, which is hugely important to me and a big part of the story, is hopefully people's lives being better. The people I have, my students, my clients, my meeting members, is their life better? And if I've done that, then I've done the goods.
And then now you can just go lay on the beach and just soak up the sun. You've done it.
I suspect I'm
with
not
a pina colada
doing that. Probably do a lot more time, just probably more of like just being, my vision in my head, just truth be told, the vision in my head is I'm like 96, I am on my deathbed, I no longer can make it to the beach, truth be told, but I'm satisfied with what I did. Like I can go to my maker and say, yes, I did the goods. Thank you very much. I can go home peacefully now.
Exactly. And that's all that's needed. So let me ask you this. How do you deal with taking risks? And is there a time when rolling the dice really worked out for you?
Great question. How do I deal with taking risks? I do a lot of journaling. I do that in general. I meditate? That also helps. I consider meditation to be the sort of cooling the engine, right? The engine wants to run hot. Our brain wants to run hot. We want to cool the engine. So I meditate. And I do personal growth work like every quarter. I try to go to a conference every quarter and go to personal growth work every quarter. So it really helps me intentionally and consciously. So I'm the instrument. My real estate is the thing I'm investing in, but I'm really the instrument that runs the company. And so my thinking, my clarity, my grounding, my humility mixed with my willingness to try and my willingness to expand in my world is the thing that runs the organization. And so being with this is the best thing I can do. So I do a lot in that way. But there are still times when I remember in 2015, I had a flip I was doing and I had just taken a $300,000 loss on it. And that's a little humbling. I'm just saying, right? That's a little humbling. I think I'm smart, but yes. And I had just missed it. And I can tell you all this, I can tell you the reasons why I missed it and how my team missed it. And I remember being invited to teach at this town hall. And I remember calling my friend who invited me and went, I don't know if I feel brave enough to do this. And he said, Christina, have you thought about how many people you've helped in this world? Have you thought about how many years you've invested in real estate? Have you thought about, you're missing the point. And so it being able to walk in that line between I've got it and I'm willing to be brave, because to not be brave would be to have a small life. But I'm also humble. I don't necessarily want to come at it with an arrogance. I want to come at it with a humility that allows me to take in the data, discern what I need to understand, not live in fear and judgment, but discern what I need to understand and make a decision for me and my team. So it's really this constant walk back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
A deal that I did.
Fine-tuned balance. You have to have a fine-tuned balance.
Yeah. A deal that I did that I risked on was one of my favorite deals. It was for a while there in the early 2000s, I would buy when I traveled. Not a good habit, and I'm not suggesting that people should do that. You should know your markets. You should do your due diligence, be grounded in your particular markets. But I bought this piece of land with a house on it in Hawaii. It was an oversized piece of land. We did a condo conversion on it because you couldn't just do a lot split. You had to do a condo conversion based on Hawaiian law. And we rehabbed the house itself. We sold the house that was on half of the piece of land, and we sold the house itself for more than the entire project originally cost and its cost itself. And then therefore we had literally a free and clear bonus piece of land that then I sold. And I sold it with seller financing, and it turned into passive income for several years. So it was cool. It was like, wow, that was like a home run. But I didn't live in Hawaii. And so to move into Hawaii and buy this flip effectively was a risk. I didn't know the market. So I had to really do my research very quickly, get grounded very quickly, and find team on the ground. Because you got to find team and trust people who are going to perform. And so the risk was in the time, not so much in the asset itself. The numbers were relatively obvious. It was in the time, doubling down quickly to get what I needed in a market I didn't have complete control over, to find a team that I could truly trust. So that was the bigger risk.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say so. And it turned out to be extremely rewarding. So that's even better.
It did. It turned out to be rewarding. There are other risks I'm taking now. We're looking at 3 different markets to be able to buy 100 plus units to be for high, potentially in this market in this time. In 2006, to timestamp this, I apologize. But in 2006, there's a downturn in the multifamily market. So being able to move into new markets, similar to the previous one, move into new markets effectively and efficiently to find assets that fit our buy box. And that takes, again, just a willingness to move into areas you don't know, do the diligence that you need, and create your team. It is constantly being willing to expand your comfort zone. And people talk about it all the time as a concept, but living it is something that I think requires a diligence or a humbleness and the willingness to just sit down and do the hours, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you just got to grind and learn everything you can about what you're investing in. So there's basically no other way around it. So it worked out. Everyone hits a bump in the road every now and then. Can you share a time things didn't pan out and how you got through it?
2007, 8, 9.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the biggest bump. The 2015, that one I lost the 300,000 on, was a bump as well. But I think remember I mentioned before, it was a really big dimension. It was a big learning curve. I remember I did that before.
Yeah.
It was 2009, and my daughter was born in October of 2009. And I felt like my financial world was falling apart. And my husband and I were fighting a lot. We had gotten married 3 years earlier. And I just froze. I froze for 6 months, 8 months. My husband was like, "What are you doing?" We burned through $500,000 in reserves trying to hold the properties the way we had it. And we were getting down to the end. And he's like, "You need to go get a job. You need to sell everything and go get a job." And I remember just standing at my computer and calculating that, again, my portfolio had gone down by another $100,000 that month. And I was like, I'm just a loser. I'm a loser. I'm a big ass loser. I thought I was smart. I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought I'd worked it. You know that feeling? I got it covered. Yeah, I'm super cool. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
And I have properties in 7 different states, and I was flipping in 2 different states. Hey, yeah, I totally got it under control.
Yeah, you were just the maestro.
I thought I was beautiful. No, it wasn't me. It was the market. It wasn't me at all. And like I said, we had burned through what I thought would have been sufficient amount of savings to make it through almost any downturn. And I was staring at my computer, and I was like, I should just give up. Just give all the properties back to the bank. Just screw it. Just walk away.
Yeah.
And I started the consulting practice at that point, and I was listening to a lot of sad stories. And I remember staring at the computer screen, and I just went, but if I just gave up, would I like myself? Would I be proud of myself? Would I like who I am? Would I like the life I had chosen to go back to work, to effectively walk away from everything? I didn't even have a lot of investors at the time. This would have been all my own capital that I was losing. And I just went, no, I really wouldn't like myself. I wouldn't like myself anymore. And that type of living with that year after year wouldn't have been okay with me. So you start crying, and you just, like, piece by piece, as best you can, you pull together, at least I tried to pull together each conversation. Okay, talk to that bank, talk to that lawyer, and I just sold everything. I sold everything. My daughter was born, like I said, in October. This was late in 2009 or early 2010. She was a baby, and I'm like, the one thing I have is my daughter. The one thing the banks cannot take from me is my daughter. And the one thing I can do is protect her and our time and our house and our home and make this right, make it straight. And it took a lot of phone calls and a lot of crying and a lot of uncomfortable hours. And I sold everything and working and not working. And I rolled it all into hard money loans so I could stay home and be a mom, which was the original purpose of my portfolio to begin with. And it worked. It worked. I got enough cash flow off of my hard money loans that I was able to stay home and be a mom and take care of my daughter. And I worked some as a consultant because I've always enjoyed my work, my consulting work, but I worked really hard at it, and I made more money from it to protect the capital we had. But between the two, I was able to just stay home. And I only worked 2 days a week. Yeah, it was nice. It was good.
That is nice. So leading a team has its challenges. What's your leadership style, and can you give us an example of how it helped you through a tough spot?
It's funny because I'm studying leadership. I constantly study leadership and have for the last couple of years, and now I feel like I'm doing it again and again, like fine-tuning my leadership style. So I'm a loyalist. I like inspiration and being inspiring, and I'm a servant. I'm a servant leader. So there's a book called Servant Leadership, and it really fits my leadership style, where I'm of service to my team. I want to empower my team in what they need and who they need to be. And how do I give them jurisdiction in their areas while still holding the vision for the team as a whole? So I'm very much that, but I'm also a loyalist. And being overly loyal means I keep teams members for too long. And it's bit me in the backside a couple of times. And so the strengths are great, and it's lovely. And I think my team members enjoy being with me, and people are incredibly loyal to me. I'll have team members for years and years who go way out of their way to help do good. I had this one particularly bad tenant situation where, I'll just say it, somebody committed suicide in the unit. And so now we had the unit and we had to clean up, and I was out of state. And I just called my team members and I said, look, I know this is really going to be hard to clean up. I'm going to fly out. Anybody who wants to meet me there, you're welcome to meet me there. Anybody who doesn't want to face this, I understand your desire to not face it. And they all showed up in person in the unit to face it with me, to not leave me alone in that. That very struck me, right? That level of willingness to stand by my side, even in the hardest times. I'm still grateful. And they're still with me. Those team members are still with me today.
That's fantastic.
So there's strengths and weaknesses to every leadership style. My strength is loyalty from them, and my weakness is loyalty in keeping team members for too long.
Sure. So, how do you encourage your team to think outside the box and bring new ideas to the table?
I say thank you.
So simple, isn't it?
Yeah, I just say thank you. Hey, that's a new idea. Thank you. Or what about this, Christina? Thank you. Or like, let's have a conversation about it. Yeah, let's talk. Just thank you. Their intention is to support me, not to hijack my leadership. And if I start from
Sure.
that assumption, then a thank you is very easy to say, and then have a conversation about it is very easy to do, and then integrating it into a larger plan can be very transparent. So it's creating, obviously, they talk about it, create the culture where it's okay. The way
Sure.
that I know to do it is to say thank you when they bring me something new and sincerely mean thank you. Maybe you just bought me a whole new section of my real estate portfolio and my
Absolutely.
success.
So, what's a day in your life look like? How do you juggle work and everything else?
Oh, yes. Let's see, it's 8 a.m. now. and we wake up at 6. I meditate from 6 to 6:30. I then prepare breakfast from 6:30 to 7:15. The family is out of the house. My daughter and my husband are on their way to school. My daughter's school at 7:15. I have another about 45 minutes to organize my day and my life. At 8 o'clock in the morning, I sit down and start doing meetings, and I do meetings until 2. I then leave the house at 2 or 2:30 to pick up my daughter and have phone calls between 2:30 and 3:30, and I pick her up at 3:30. I try to do, and then that's it. I try to make my afternoons about her. What does she need? What is she doing? If she has an afternoon activity, I might do a phone call during the afternoon activity. But my job is to be my why, and my job is to be there as a parent for her in her hours. So I try to get a lot of my work into 25 hours a week. It does
Which
mean a
is,
lot of texting, and it does mean a lot of sometimes saying, hey, no, I can't meet at that time.
yeah. So, yeah, you've got it figured out. And starting from 8 to 2:30 and getting the calls in. So, yeah, that's pretty nice. And then at the end of the day, you're with your daughter.
At the end of the
So,
day,
that's pretty special.
yeah, thank you. I
So
appreciate it.
I know you mentioned a book that you liked already, but has there been, we already mentioned the book, a podcast, or someone that's really changed your outlook or approach?
The Unofficial Guide to Investing in Real Estate was the first real estate book I ever read. It was after the Little Purple Bible, of course. We've all read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. So after that, and then Stephen Covey and Think and Grow Rich, there is the Unofficial Guide to Investing in Real Estate, which was written by a guy named Marty Stone. One of the authors was Marty Stone, and years later I got to meet him. It was like a full circle. Wow, I got to meet Marty Stone, the first official book I read on investing in real estate. Woohoo! It was very grounded. It was very simple, and I really made real estate investing very approachable for me. So still to this day, I recommend it just as a place to start. And obviously, I do a lot of different personal growth workshop books and stuff like that. But Upper Limit, Gay Hendricks, The Big Leap is also a really great one. I've enjoyed that book. But honestly, the person that I listen to that I try to role model myself after is Ken McElroy. And the reason why is because I feel like he's very non-drama. Thank you for no drama in your data and your analysis. Thank you for no drama in your general conversation. Thank you for just
Sure.
doing whiteboards and going, yes, this is what we've seen in the past. So I like following Ken McElroy and his podcast, podcast, but mostly his reels and stuff that he puts out. I feel like it's grounded and diligent. There are a lot of really great people and mentors in the field, and any one of them can be valuable for different reasons. But he just happens to be my favorite because I like no drama. I like
Yeah.
discernment, not judgment.
Yeah, it's much easier, isn't it, to not have any drama?
Yeah.
So, how do you tackle learning new things, especially stuff that's way outside of your comfort zone?
I have to put it on my schedule. And I will often make myself a bowl of popcorn or peanuts or some treat of some kind. And harkens back to my days of college. I was never a great student because I'm dyslexic and ADHD. So being a great student I'm intelligent. That's not the problem. The problem is the focus. Getting
Right.
to sit down to do it when it's not any fun. So I literally set the time in my schedule. Often late afternoon or early evenings are best for me because I'm not a morning person. And like I said, I set up a bowl of popcorn or peanuts or something to nosh on, and I just kind of dig in. And what I find is the longer I dig in, if I get past the first 15, 20 minutes, my mind will finally go, okay, I'm here. And I
Yes.
do several hours, but it is truly an actual active discipline to make myself do it.
Yeah, I can relate to that. So, it sounds like things are going well for you in your business. So, as you're looking towards the future, what you mentioned, some of the creative passive incomes that you're invested in. And are there any other things that you invest in or besides real estate?
Sure. Metals. I've got a little bit of metal. I invest in stocks and bonds. And my portfolio is balanced actually between stocks and bonds, hard money loans, LP investments, and direct doors. I learned years ago in the dot-com crisis when I lost money in that. And then I made money in real estate 2 years later, the same amount I lost in dot-com. And then I lost money in 2009. Having ridden this pony for a little while,
Sure.
I've discovered that although real estate's the thing I love the most, and thank you very much, real estate's the thing I love the most and I can control, and therefore I feel the best about my choices there is not the only investment vehicle available. So I also invest in startups and small businesses, and I have a couple of those right now I'm hoping will take off. I have one in particular that I've been nurturing, like, hey, come on, keep going. If it works, it's going to be really great. Come on. So I do invest in a variety of different things and not just in real estate. I'm an investor, not just a real estate investor. And as an investor, I want to invest across multiple asset classes.
Sure. So what's on the horizon for you? Any big goals or projects you're excited about coming up in the next 6 to 12 months?
Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. I used to own doors as multifamilies, smalls, 5 to 50s before 2007, 8, and 9, which is a part of the portfolio I sold. And then now I've been reinvesting. Now that multifamily has been hurting, I've been reinvesting again in the 5 to 50s. But I also am a GP on a larger deal, and I want to continue to do that. So I've got a team of the 4 of us that are putting together, being able to do more 100 plus doors together, either cash flowing day one, long-term holds, or they have a high level of deferred maintenance, which there's a lot of those right now. I was talking to a friend of mine who's been at this as long as I have, and he says, yeah, the last time he saw this was in 2009, where there was an amount of 30% occupied, 25% occupied, fire damage, water damage, heavy lift. Oftentimes the repair estimate in our estimate is higher than the purchase price. It's a lot of work, but it is something that I feel like I and my team have the depth of knowledge and experience, given I've been at this for so long and I've seen these before. So that's new on the horizon line, is really stepping further into being a GP in multifamily, because I still love multifamily as an investment asset. And I've invested in it, like I said, for 25 years now. And I think that this downturn isn't the multifamily problem. It's so many other downturns. It was a finance problem. If you finance your assets poorly, you're going to get in trouble. And so it's more about managing the financing than the asset itself.
Got it. So for anyone who wants to dive deeper or connect with you, where's the best place for them to go? How does one get a hold of you?
Cell phone, 310-463-5942. Yes, that's my actual cell phone. 310-463-5942, as a mentor of mine used to say, is nothing beats eyeball to eyeball and belly to belly. And as I always say, his belly was a little on the large side, so he may literally have meant belly to belly. So I like the human interaction. If you don't want to just call me outright, hey, who's this strange chick? It's very easy, ChristinaSuter.com, SUTER with the CH, ChristinaSuter.com, or livearich.life.info, which is my consulting work. So check me out and let's have a conversation, because human to human is the best way I know how to live.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your tips and your insights and your experience. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. And you've got Christina's cell phone, so don't troll her or overblow her up, but go ahead and do all of the above. She welcomes it.
I do. I welcome it. Human to human, not tech to human, human to human.
Yes, human to human. Bellies up. So you guys can follow us on Spotify, iTunes, and on YouTube. Thanks again. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you for having me, honey. So appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.